I guess I would say make people kind of just want to do that thing, if that makes sense.
Well, I'll
Like
tell you mine.
what drew you
I,
to it?
I had a whole little enlightenment when it came to health, food, religion, a whole lot of things. And hold on. Yeah, when health, food, religion, and a lot of things, and that was just part of it. And it's to me, I found that it's kind of human nature. And instead of me going around lying to women and, making lifetime promises and things of that nature, I'll find some women that understands the same type of nature, you know what I'm saying? And we can make an agreement that way. And so that's where that comes from. Much rather be honest and be with another woman at some point in my life versus cheating and arguing. It just takes a
Yeah.
lot of stuff that these monogamous relationships deal with.
Mhm.
Yeah, never had to deal with that. And you
Do you
just got to
mind me
find the right
asking
person.
you?
You just got to find the right person.
Okay, Adam, what were you saying?
So the polyamorous portion of it, it's kind of a story. So my ex-wife, she had cancer. She had leukemia, and it was stage 3 when it was discovered, and she kind of, she wanted to be involved in like her finding like the person that she wanted to help raise her daughter. So she didn't quite, she kind of said to herself, I don't want you to just have anyone around you. I want there to be somebody that I'm aware of, that I know. And, it was somebody that we both mutually knew. So, she ended up surviving it. But before that, with the same ex-wife, we had, engaged in swinging, but that kind of happened because we just met a couple that just, I don't know, like they were already into the lifestyle, and they kind of enticed us into it, and we kind of like were, interesting, these seem like very, very regular cool people, so maybe we might want to go hang out with them. So we attended like our first event, and we were like, oh, I don't know, we didn't really do anything in the first event. And then the second time we went, we felt a little more comfortable once we understood the format, to the point where we actually hosted a couple of events ourselves. So we had to learn the rules, and we had to learn everything about it, just because it was, it was something that we did grow into. But after the swinging, came the polyamory. And to be honest, the polyamory was very uncomfortable for me. And I don't really have a wish to engage in that aspect of it again, because I felt like through the polyamory, I wasn't at that point where I felt like I could completely like be devoted to both people. I felt like regardless of how much I tried to give equal attention, there was always that aspect of one person feeling neglected. And then, you just kind of feeling like I can't, I want to give equal attention, but I can't, and there always being like an issue.
Funny, I was the
Okay.
other way around. Like I never did swinging and have no intention to do any swinging. And I'm just the other way around with that. It's interesting.
Okay.
Okay, so let's go with the next question. As far as poly relationships, in general, is there read the why I can't read the question? So, do you feel polyamorous relationships are more successful than the more traditional ones? Why or why not on that?
I think personally they may be equally successful because monogamous and traditional relationships are made for a certain demographic, and multiples in relationships are made for another. So I really think the success rate is similar, because ultimately you're dealing with people, right? I mean, people make the same mistakes regardless of whether or not they're in a monogamous or a polygamous or poly relationship of any kind. So my 2 cents is I think it's equal.
Was it my 2 cents on that would be, like I said, from my experience, I felt like because of the polyamory, it just like kind of, I think it kind of drove me away from both of them, so it just, I don't know, it harmed the relationship because it made me feel less connected to both of them, just because I was trying so hard. You're fucking exhausted trying to give everything you have to both people in an equal measure. And it just, it became something that, just started to wear on me, and ultimately there were a lot of other personal things that came later, with the relationship that ultimately caused us to get divorced. But it was that was an unnecessary strain on the relationship. The swinging aspect of it, that's just a fun thing that we agreed to engage in, and there was never any problem with that. It was just excitement for both of us. It was what it was. But the polyamory, it was different because this wasn't just sharing your bed with somebody. It was sharing your bed, your life. Trying to be romantic and trying to do all these things. Because I'm a very romantic person. I'm not just somebody who goes into it looking like, oh, I'm just going to go on a date with you and then we're going to hook up. No, it was like, you're in my life, and that was very hard to balance. So when to your question, do I feel like it was harder? Or do I feel like those kind of relationships are harder? I feel like they are, only because you have more than one person's expectation to manage. And on top of that, somebody is going to get jealous. Like, even though you might tell yourself, look, nobody's going to get jealous in this particular situation, you can't always control how the other person feels, and if you're not able to give
Adam,
that
I'm curious. Do you think your marriage would have survived either way?
No, I don't think think it was on that path. Like,
but with that, just curious, because you said you feel like the polyamory made things more difficult. But
right.
It sounds like to me, I ain't no professional. It sounds like to me there were issues there present way before the poly relationship became a thing. And the poly relationship just exasperated things, which ultimately sped up, or maybe even just took the biggest toll on the relationship. But you guys weren't going to make it either way, right?
Okay, so to get back, the polyamorous relationship was with her sister. She wanted her sister to be
so
my
consider
next wife,
the context, right? So consider the context, right? You're talking about someone she grew up with. She chose that person because she was under the impression she was going to die.
Yes.
And when she did not die, things changed.
She was like, exactly. And you can't just turn off feelings.
No, I understand that. For you, maybe.
Yeah, exactly.
The point that I'm making is, regardless of the circumstances, with that being presented, there was literally two options in play. It was either you were going to reject the poly relationship from the very beginning and just ride it out with your wife until she passed away and find someone else, or go down the path that you did. Realistically, she made the choice. She said she wanted you to do it. I'm sorry. She expressed her desire, but you made the choice. I ultimately made the choice, but it was a very strong desire of hers. And the reason why the relationship ultimately broke up was because during remission, they give you so much drugs and it just messed with her mind. So everything, when you're talking about her now thinking she felt slighted by the relationship I had with her sister, that was magnified by now this level of mental instability. She developed bipolar disorder and a bunch of other different things, became suicidal, all kinds of things. Right.
That just, like you said, it put a deeper strain on the relationship. And the polyamory was always what we went back to, which was like, oh, well, you have these feelings for her, you don't have them for me. And it's like, no, that's not, so everything just became magnified. So my whole point is, yes, you're absolutely right. The relationship was not going to survive under the circumstances, but the polyamory was definitely something that, and that's why I said I have no interest. I'm in a committed relationship 6 years now. I'm totally happy. I'm good.
So that, right, for you, you're speaking specifically for you. Okay.
I would definitely engage in like the swinging aspect of it again. That's fine. But that's something to each their own,
Well,
Right.
he's answering personally. He wasn't answering
poly
in
relationships
general.
in and of themselves are not difficult. They're difficult for you, is what you're saying.
That instance, right? I agree.
I mean, in my experience, like, but I don't know. I feel like maybe, maybe I'm looking at it in a one-dimensional way just from my own perspective, but I feel like, the jealousy aspect of things are there even when you think they aren't.
Right. That's what I get that. But I'm saying that was specific to your case is what you're saying, right?
To my case, but other people I've talked to who have engaged in polyamorous relationships, they've told me that there have been jealousy that has like kind of, started to build up. It may not have been something that was initially there because they went into it with pure intentions and they thought, oh, this is going to be awesome. But then as things progressed, they started to see that either one was getting more than the other or something was lacking in the relationship. So I've had the conversation with several other people. This is not just the first time I'm having it. That's one of the reasons why I was interested in engaging in this show.
No, I got you. I'm just, so we're limited to our surroundings, right? Until we talk to people outside of them. So there are people who are absolutely thriving in poly relationships. I myself am not in a poly relationship before I've been in some, but I know several people right now who are doing really well at least 7 relationships. They even call it a polycule. We're talking about multiple relationships along the way. You understand what I'm saying? Whereas in your situation, you were in one polyamorous relationship that went sour, and you talked to a couple of people around you and theirs were sour. That doesn't, in my personal opinion, that doesn't mean that poly relationships are more difficult, because
we can't just skip over the creativity, the polycule.
No, that's actually a word. You can Google that.
Yeah, it is.
I love
polycule.
Yeah.
That's my word for the day.
Is that in your situation, in the people you're surrounded by, it was difficult, right? That doesn't mean that for the other people it's not successful. That's why I believe personally it's balanced, because I know just as many people who have absolutely failed at monogamous relationships, and I know many people who are doing really well at monogamous relationships. So I'm not going to say imagine either side saying, oh, it's easy, and the other saying it's hard. It's just, it doesn't make any sense.
For one, the question says poly, so it's covering all the stuff we said at the beginning. So we group in a lot of different type of relationships put together,
right?
Versus monogamy. Now, if you want to do statistics, I think monogamy is less successful. But I agree with you. Like, everybody's not in the statistics. There's worldwide. There's people that there's women that like 6 women. There's a lot of different things going on. So you comparing poly to all different types of poly of all over the world to monogamy, and you're saying which is more successful. You either go off your personal experience, you either go off of statistics.
I agree with you.
Fact said, though,
completely. That's what I was saying.
It evens out. It does even out. You just got to find the right people for the right situation.
Exactly.
That's all. I mean, that's all that is. And when you say that, same thing with the word successful. Like, what's successful? Or when you say jealousy, I haven't seen any monogamous relationships with no jealousy. Jealousy is just a feeling, and once you learn to understand where that comes from and what it is, it's like, I don't want to compare people to kids, but it's like having two husbands, is like having 2 kids, or 2 wives, is like having 2 kids. One of them, everybody's not going to be even. Everybody has their own. Me and you have our own relationship. Me and you have our own relationship. I could have been working and you wouldn't have no problem. But if I'm over somebody else's house, you have a problem. But we concentrate on the time and we together, and not concentrate on the time where we're not together and other things are happening. So I can't speak for everybody. I think it's a human nature thing, but even that can be overcame easily. You can overcome what your natural feelings are. There's people who's monogamous for life. It doesn't, and they fight their human nature their whole life and are successful with it. You know what I'm saying? So I think there's just a variety. I can't come on and claim that one's better than the other, especially when we're talking all poly. There's a lot of different polys out there. You know what I'm saying? Right. I'm more with polygyny, and I think that's what's natural, and that's what works for me, if any. But in a lot of stuff, I don't see how. I'm like Trey. I don't see how the stuff even works, but it's out there.
Well, Nate, what is polygyny and what is polygyny or whatever the other one? Let me go ahead and talk about that.
Let's get together. It's polycule.
I'll let facts hit the polycule, but the polygyny, once you multiple loves, and then they get polygyny is multiple men. I mean, both multiple wives and one man, and then there's polyandry where there's multiple men, and those different aspects. A lot of those they come up with their own name eventually. Wait a
minute. Okay.
Polygyny is one man and multiple women.
One man and multiple women.
It's polygyny. Polyandry is one woman and multiple men.
Wow.
Oh, damn.
I didn't realize there was a distinction in the words.
Yes, you can Google it, and
I didn't either.
In the dictionary and all that, and then there's polygamy, which is more related to marriage. And again, that's more of a general term too. You can go both ways in polygamy, but they have different terms. That way, when we're comparing one to the other, because I think there's a big difference between multiple husbands versus multiple wives.
Right.
I see multiple wives in the animal kingdom, in the plant kingdom, in the Bible, in the history. You know what I'm saying? I don't see the other. Like you said, I can't imagine multiple husbands. That's because it's never. I've never
had multiple alphas.
I've never seen it successful either. I've never seen it in a historical book or in Genghis Khan or none of that. The animals and none of that. So it's very rare for that to happen. So that's why I think it's a natural thing. But it's different.
Alpha by definition doesn't share control.
So let me ask this, Nate. Are you actively in a polygenic, whatever.
Polygynous.
Polygyny.
What is it?
No,
What is
I'm
it
not.
again?
Polygynous.
Polygynous.
I'm
You're
not. No, I mean, but the women I deal with, they are open to it. They understand how I feel. You know what I'm saying? So
Okay. Would you? I'm skipping to some other questions because you bringing up a lot of stuff that now is making me. Okay. So would you accept another man being in the relationship if you were in a polygynous?
No.
if,
JPEG is
if there's another
already.
man, you're not in a polygynous
no.
relationship.
Oh,
It's
but a
polyandrous.
polyandria. Okay.
Polyandrous.
Would you be in a polyandry?
Polyandrous.
Who, me? No.
So many
Polyandrous.
polys.
There we go. Exactly. I can't keep
No.
up.
I only pick women that only need one man in their life, for one. Because for one, it's hard for me to imagine you having more than one man and you with me. Just be honest.
Why? Okay, but this is.
Wait till you hear about philoprogenic.
Wait, hold on, Adam. So this is something
Adam.
Philoprogeny.
this is something that I saw on Instagram or something like that. A video I posted. The lady brought up the situation where when she was dating a guy, or as she's dating, because she's into poly this and poly that, and she said, well, they brought that to the table, like, hey, you know, I'm into other women and I want to have other women a part of this or whatever. And she was like, me too. I want other niggas, I want other women, I want this, and this. And he was like, hold up. No, that ain't what we on. This ain't the time we on. Why is that not acceptable on the flip side? Sharing
it's just a personal preference. I only pick women who need that in their life because, for one, I mean, even before that situation, you having sex with me twice a week, you need a couple recovery days, or I'm way too much masculine energy for a lot of women to be juggling multiple, you know what I'm saying? So I pick women who only need one. They only need one. They understand they're living their own life. We're living our own lives, single lives together. We decided to be together living these lives. So they have jobs, they have companies, they have things to do. You know what I'm saying? It's not where, oh, what you doing when I'm gone, or I'm not getting enough time. It's not comparing it to other people and stuff like that. So it never was, you know, it's a matter to me of just, there's different types of people out there. There's women that only needs one person. There's women that needs multiple. Same thing with guys. So you find a situation that's right for you. And if you need more than one guy in your life, then you're just not going to be fit for me, and you're not going to be fit for a polygynous relationship. You automatically don't fit into this situation that we have. Just like in a monogamous relationship. And if someone likes to have sex with multiple people, they can't fit. They can't fit in a monogamous relationship.
Nate say you're gonna need a couple recovery days. That boy say you're gonna need to recoup.
I mean,
hey, stay on that business, Nate. Ain't no wrong with it.
That's old school. I learned that from somebody else. You know what I mean? Like that's been like I don't know. The women that I deal with, sex every day is too much. They have other things to do. They have self-care time. They have recovery time. They have, you know what I'm saying? So it's just the type of women, that you pick. And I have an abundance mindset, and so I feel like there's every type of woman out there for you. There's multiple people here that's right for you. You go out there and find one. You don't gotta settle and change your life, change who you are, lie to a person, and do all this other stuff, when you just need to find a situation that works for you.
Okay, I wanna include Nina's statement in here because she's having some audio issues. So I want to read what she's saying. She's saying, not sure if this is relating to the question, but I think it makes a difference if you're already in a relationship and you bring someone in versus everyone new to the situation. So that kind of tags off of the question, what is considered cheating versus what's not cheating when we're talking about a polyamorous relationship, polygenet, whatever the other one is with the man and the two wives, or the woman with the two.
Wait, can y'all hear me?
Yes.
Can y'all hear me?
Yes. Go ahead.
Okay, real quick. Reason why I say that is because, speaking on my personal experience, when you already with someone, you have all these feelings and time invested in them, and then here comes this new person. you're naturally going to feel some type of way. You're going to feel like, well, I've been here, so how is she getting, like, you get those weird, stupid feelings. That's why I say it makes a difference versus if you just got with this man yesterday, last week, you're not going to have that weird, immature jealousy going on. So it's a big difference.
I agree. Or they was up front when y'all met. Like, this might be a possibility down the road. I'm not in a marriage. I didn't go through this whole rigmarole with the marriage and monogamy. And then later on, 2 years into our marriage, I say, hey, I want to add somebody else. That's kind of,
well, yeah, that's not being honest either. But
I agree.
Like,
honesty is
yeah.
the issue.
Honesty is a big thing when
That's
it comes
really
to
what
that.
cheating is. When
you go outside of the people y'all agree on, is the cheating. That's when it's cheating.
Exactly. So you can agree to 4 people, and if y'all stay in that 4, technically you're not cheating. You made this agreement. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
It's stepping out of the agreement. It's when it gets to lying, and that's my issue. I have a hard time lying. I don't like to lie. I don't like being in front of women's face and they treat me like a kid. So I need to do something different.
Yeah. It's a fine line with poly situations because, and this is just me speaking personally. For me, it wasn't really, it didn't make me feel good when I was in the situation because I knew that it was a possibility because we had the conversation. But for me, it was just like, I just want to have some fun. I ain't trying to, like, wife nobody. Like, that was how I was looking at it. So, and that was my issue, where the person's like, oh yeah, that's the conversation, but then they still went and did what they wanted to do and caught entire feelings. So that's why I got a bad taste in my mouth when it comes to stuff like that.
Yeah, he didn't
because
operate.
For me,
did you agree to it?
Yeah, I wanted. Okay, I'm being very blunt with y'all. I was just on some we kicking and having fun, like some swinging type stuff with a woman, not this is your other girlfriend and you in love with her, and I was not with any of that.
Right.
But I was lied to, and then I kind of figured it out on my own that they were in love with each other. It wasn't even like I was sat down and it was just like I'm sitting there figuring stuff out, and it was real. It was a really messed up situation.
It reminds me, like Adam said, like you putting it on the polygyny, but there's other issues that was, if you got a guy who's not honest up front, he's lying,
right?
He's not the type of person that could do that type of stuff, then it all gets lumped on okay, this is the polygyny messed this up, but really there's underlying issues on all that. And if he was solo,
you were a liar. Yeah, he was a liar to begin with. But I think more people, there will be less heartache and drama in relationships if these men that love a variety were just way more honest in the beginning.
Wait, so I have a question. So it seems like I'm probably like the only one that hasn't like experienced something like that. You know what I'm saying? Like
no, you're not.
Relationship. Well, I'm just saying, I guess out of the guests. I'm saying out of the guests, I guess, right? So when would you say is a good time to bring that up? Because you don't just go on the first date and be like, okay, well, I mean, you might. When is a good time?
You should mention
it. It just depends on the conversation, however it's flowing.
Yeah, I don't have no problem mentioning on the first date.
Is there a too soon? Is there a too soon? Is
No,
there a too late?
No.
You know what I'm saying?
No, honestly, too late.
Yeah. First date.
Too late. Yeah.
Hey, we want to hear.
There's definitely a too late.
Okay, let's let everybody talk. Go ahead.
Go ahead, Jane. Pick somebody.
Whoever was Nina or
wait, you said Trey didn't Trey have more of a question?
Trey, no, but
that was it. So you saying like basically first date that will be acceptable. You know what I'm saying? Conversation to be like, okay, well, cool. This is what I'm into. If you're not into that, we just get the check and we should probably just go on and bounce.
Yeah, ain't no sense of wasting time.
Basically, it's like saying you straight or gay.
Yeah.
Like was it first off? Sorry, was it nowadays? People online dating, that shit you need to put on your profile. Because if that's not something you're putting on your profile, it's something you need to be upfront about, because that is a deal breaker for a lot of people. Anything that in your life is a deal breaker is something like if you have kids, you kind of need to let people know that. if you are gay or straight, you kind of need to freaking let people know that. If you're into a poly relationship or ethical non-monogamy or any nonsense like that, then you need to fucking let people know, because that's what it is. You know, if you're not doing that out the gate, you're being deceptive. Like if you're even going on a date with someone and you're willing to see where it goes, and this person has already said that they're looking for a monogamous relationship, and you already know that's who you are, then out the gate you're being deceptive.
I think a couple dates is cool. You know, just don't get, because sometimes they don't know what it is, and they can learn what it is, and they can decide to be cool with it. You know what I'm saying? So there's a process or whatever, but you can't get someone thinking and committed to you and liking you in a certain way, and they don't understand this. It's just like being gay, and you don't tell her you're gay. It's the same type of deal. You know what I'm saying?
It's literally,
there's definitely a too late, and a too late is earlier than most people think.
That's interesting.
Let me say, from a women's perspective.
Go ahead, Nina.
Go ahead.
Go ahead, Nina.
I was gonna say, just for speaking from a women's position, like that's not something. Well, I'm not like into poly per se. I just was on some, I'm doing this with you. Anyway, that's another story, y'all. But like women, you don't even like to even tell a man that you're into any of that, because you have to figure out if he's thirsty because he thinks, oh, we're gonna have a threesome, because she like, so you really don't want to say much about that when you're a woman, when you first meet somebody, because some dudes hear that and they're like, oh, well, that means we can. No, it doesn't. So and it's not like a deal. It's not like, I want my man. I don't want me, him, and her. I want my love story with a man. It's just, for me, that's just something that's recreational. That's not something I'm trying to like do consistently, or, you know, have a lifetime. No.
So wait, Nina, it sounds more like you're interested in swinging and not polyamorous relationship. Because okay, wait,
swinging, I'm not. Because I'm not trying to be in a relationship with a man and let another dude smash me. Like, I'm not into that.
Okay, so I mean, you can. Okay, wait. Just so you know, and you know, in any kind of swinging environment, like I said, during the meet and greet, that's where you establish kind of what your boundaries are, what you're into. I mean, the way we did it when we hosted the event, we had like these little color coordinated bracelets, so people knew. Like, if you were into like same-sex pairings, this is something that, you know, be open to, and you kind of already had a chance to feel out the couples, so you knew. So if you had somebody who they were interested in females, then they bring another female, you know, into the mix. If you weren't interested in having I mean, that would be something that would, you know, it's in swinging culture. But the reason why I was making the distinction between the polyamorous, because you're talking about no romantic feelings with this woman that you're engaging with. You're just talking about something that's for hookup and fun. That's not really something you have to say on the first date. Because again, in a swinging kind of environment, this is in a committed monogamous relationship. You are engaging with this person in some sort of fun activity, sexual openness, or anything like that. But if you are interested in having multiple love partners or multiple people that you're in a relationship with at the same time, in this polyamorous sense, then I feel like that's something you need to be upfront about, because that's a deal breaker. You know what I mean?
Well, yeah, that for sure. Yeah, I agree.
Guys, we got a question on the what the fuck is this guy? The YouTube chat. Sorry, they're saying, so GSU for Life is saying, so what, I guess, is Nina wanting a friend with benefits, or like that's the way that you're looking at it, a friend with benefits, Nina? That was a question to
you. Like, as far as a woman?
Either way.
I'm not sure. GSU for Life.
Because okay, I was speaking on my experience, but like, it's not something that I wake up thinking about every day. Like, it's like really random. It's not something that I'm like consistently looking to do. But I'm open to it, but it's not, I really can go without it, is my point.
And it's only with females, right? It's not with another
I'm not
man,
really. Right, I'm talking about females, right? I'm not into casual sex with men.
Gotcha.
But I'm not really, I'm not really into casual.
So I've
anything.
met women like that. They are open. They understand how men are. They understand how they still want to be with that particular person. Maybe he's got a plan, a future, or whatever. They like his personality, and she's not interested in having sex with multiple men. That's just not what she is. So she's, there's NBA players. I get a lot of, oh, you got to be so rich, you got to be a billionaire, and you can pull it off or whatever. And like I said, I think like a billionaire anyway, whether I got it or not. And so she don't, the swinger deal. She could stay home. She could say, you go. She could say, I'll watch. If she doesn't want to actually get penetrated by another guy, it don't have to be a equal deal. You know what I'm saying? So she can go ahead.
The thing is, I feel like we're mixing or graying the line between a relationship format and a fetish.
Yeah, I never seen a comparison between swingers and
to me,
they're not even the same.
From where I'm standing, my 2 cents. Listen, I've been a swinger. You know what I'm saying? I still do it regularly. You know what I mean? I've been in a poly relationship. There's a huge difference between the two. One is a relationship format. It's no different than boyfriend and girlfriend, you know what I'm saying, or husband and wife. It's literally a format in which you express those things. I'm either going to have a bunch of boyfriends and girlfriends or a bunch of husbands or wives. That's one thing. The other thing is the descriptive factor in what it is you're into within that thing. So you can literally be in a poly relationship and also a swinger. You see what I'm saying? But you don't have to be in a poly relationship to be a swinger. You see what I'm saying? There's a huge difference between the two.
Right.
There's a humongous difference.
But you see, this is why I was saying when she was saying that she only wants to be with a woman for like the the little fun aspect of it. That's a swinger. That's not really not true.
There's so many. That's the thing. That's not true. There's so many different fetishes. It's insane. Like there's voyeurism. There's all so much different. Like I could literally sit here and run down a ton of fetishes. You see what I'm saying? I'm a billion%.
I mean, I get what you're saying, but I mean, when you're engaging with this other female, it's you're having sex with this female, right? It's not just you watching your boyfriend or something. Fuck this girl, right?
Of course, but you're still literally engaging in a sexual act with that person.
I mean, it could be.
That's what I'm saying. Like it.
Okay,
What she's describing isn't. That's what I'm saying.
But I'm not. Sorry.
Not Nina, you good. I'm just trying to literally draw the line because I feel like it's being grayed. Like my 2 cents.
It's definitely a line. It's definitely a difference. Like I'm not into just like let's just get as many women as we can together. Like if we I'm not into that either. If we found one that was cool, but that's the thing. There's that line because you can't be consistently with that one because somebody's gonna catch feelings. That's the whole issue.
Right.
Even if and you got it's not even that she can catch feelings all she wants. You have to have a certain type of man that knows how you feel about that and respects it.
Yeah, a thick boundary. Correct.
You have to have a man to be like, oh, she getting a little too close for comfort. I know you ain't. Right. He has to know. If I look at him like, no, this ain't it. He got to just go with me. I'm not saying like I'm running the show, but that's just what works for me. Because it gets
obviously if you're in a monogamous relationship, you would want that guy. You would draw up those rules beforehand. You feel me? And you would he would have to respect what it is that you two agreed on.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? So I get it. I completely understand. That's different from what a swinger is or in a poly relationship. That's different. Those things land under fetishes. You see what I'm saying? What Nate was with regard to polygyny or polygamy or polyamory, those things literally require an actual relationship, which is what.
But I was technically low key in one because we was. I mean, I didn't really love it though. But I was in a situation that was really messed up, so that's another story. But I definitely was in a like it was the three of us. Like it was, cooking, clean, like it was a thing. It was a whole relationship. But just for me, it was just that we was good friends. Like if it wasn't for him being in the picture, like she was a really good person and we would probably have been tight.
Y'all would have been homegirl.
But it just got to, nobody was communicating with me. It was like y'all making like our relationship wasn't new, but us living in the same house was new. And in my mind, I'm trying to build this home, and then here she comes, and it's like, wait, that's not, you know what I mean? Like it was just he didn't give it time. He didn't give us time to do our thing and build our little nest.
He also didn't set any boundaries where that thing would have successfully worked. You see what I'm saying? Like this is one of the reasons why I was saying earlier that poly relationships and monogamous relationships have the exact same issues. You feel me? If you don't respect the relationship,
Right.
you're bound to fail. It no matter what format of relationship you have.
Right.
I
So
had
I-
less sex in my polyamorous relationship. In my polygynous relationship, I had less sex. And so it wasn't about sex to me.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Like
Right.
we were all busy, and hell, we was half tired, you know what I'm saying? And so it was more of a relationship. It was more of a relationship thing, you know?
Right.
And it's about, like I said, we have our time together. It was more of a multiple monogamous almost.
Right.
You know,
A
we didn't live in the
polycule.
same house.
Yeah.
We wasn't having a bunch of threesomes. We might once or twice, you know what I'm saying? But
Yeah,
it
it was
was
a
more
polycule.
of our time together,
Mhm.
our time together. You
Yep.
know what I'm saying?
Yeah. No,
And
that's
then if we
exactly what
want to
it
do
was.
something together, go out or whatever, we can do that as well. That's option
Right.
as well.
That's
But
actually my preferred version of poly.
So this is a question I have then for more so for Nate, because it seems like you've had this whole poly thing a little bit more than a lot of us, maybe. But in the context of the relationship, okay, so we're not talking about sexual, but do the women have to be in a relationship with each other, or are they in a relationship with you?
no, they're in a relationship with me. They don't have to be in a relationship with each other. They can be friends and close friends. Like their relationship is built on them, and it's good for them to have a relationship of some type. But they don't have to be having sex. They don't have to be considered each other. You know what I'm saying? Even when you hear like sister wives in a lot of religious areas, those sister wives in Islam and all that, they're not having sex with each other. They're still a polygynous relationship. They could be best friends. A lot of y'all's best friends, y'all have the same taste in men, you know, and so y'all either fighting over men or yo girl, I wish I had your man. Still secretly thinking that, you know what I'm saying? So no, they don't have to be in a relationship.
So I have a question for Nate, because I actually like your whole commentary. I like everybody's commentary, but his is giving me a better understanding of what's going on. How do you handle like any type of jealousy that might arise in your situation?
We talk about jealousy because it's just an emotion, and so emotions, you just have to understand how you get there and where to go from there, because there was no more jealousy, in my opinion, than when in a monogamous relationship. I'm always a busy guy. And so I have to be clear on what I'm doing, and she has to understand the type of person I am. So when I'm off working, she don't think I'm lying to her. Same thing with any other type of relationship. So, you know, the women I'm with, they're not comparing themselves to what other people get. Do I get what I need? You know, and the time that I need and the emotion that I need, as long as he's not embarrassing me, he's not bringing back nothing, ain't no people banging on my door. You got to, like I said, you got to find the right people for that. And then other than that, jealousy is just an emotion we all go through, whether it's monogamous or polygynous.
Oh, Nate, I have a question for you myself. Do you find it exhausting though, managing women's emotions, more than one woman's emotions?
Yeah, it can be.
It sounds exhausting.
It can be exhausting, but like I said, it depends on a couple things. It depends on the type of person you are. You want that sacrifice, right? Because I can't say it was more exhausting than a monogamous. It was just a different type of exhausting. You know what I'm saying? Like these women ain't telling me I need to bring them the world and the moon and stuff like that. You know what I'm saying? I got what they call boss babes, and they working and they slide me in when I can get a chance. You know what I'm saying? And so it's a little bit different to me. But jealousy is just an emotion. I go through it, monogamous or polygynous.
So there's another question that I have. So when you talk about they're with you, they can't be with other men, is that considered cheating? Again, if they have other relationships outside of you?
It is, if we agreed on our certain type of setup in our relationship.
Okay.
Going outside of that would be lying and cheating, you know, and I don't have no problem with that. People change, you know, people change their mind. You can go from gay to straight, you can go from polygynous to monogamous. That's why I'm not real big on to make a promise to me for the rest of your life. Just communicate. You know what I'm saying? And if you want to do something different, we can switch it up. I'll love you forever, but you got to step out of this relationship if you want a bunch of different men. That's just not what polygyny is.
Right.
Can I ask a question?
Yeah, go ahead.
Yeah.
So Nate and JFX, basically, let's say you have a guy and two women, and you want to bring a third woman into it. Is that still considered a polygamous relationship? Because I guess now it's like 4 people all together. And then also,
that's
how do you?
polygynous.
That's who?
Polygynous. Nate's above me. I don't know if he's above me on
yeah, he is.
Yeah,
that's polygynous. Yeah, that's polygynous.
Okay. So, have you ever thought about? I guess like when you were in that situation, did you ever think about bringing a third woman into that, or was it just like 2? You got to that point and you was just like, this is enough. I don't even want to deal with this no more.
I mean, I thought about it. I didn't need that. You know what I'm saying? And so, but I thought about it, and the girls was open to it for real.
They was open.
Like they was open to it because, like I said, you got to find a woman that's not worried about everything else. It's not comparing their lives to everybody else's. You know, if they tell me, hey, you could bring 6, if you could not embarrass me, not bring home nothing, still give me my time and my energy that I need. What is the big deal? I won't know if you over there working or what. You know what I'm saying? And so, yeah, there's just, like I said, there's relationships with 4 wives. There's relationships with 2. They're all polygynous. It depends on, there's systems where, you know, some of the wives are helping raise the children and it saves you on, you know what I'm saying? And they don't have to pay for daycare and spend all their time and, you know, going crazy with the children, or one of them cooks, or somebody, you know, there's a lot of setups that you can have. You just got to find the right setup for you. You know, I know some that are in relationships and they have their own family business, and that's just how it works. Someone's an expert at doing hair, another's an expert at cooking, another expert at watching the kids, and they run it like a little family business, and they don't have to go work. Everybody ain't got to make 80 grand a year. Everybody has their own goals, you know what I'm saying? So I think it works either way, personally. Just got to find the right group of people.
Yeah, it takes the woman he's describing takes a certain level of emotional maturity.
Got to.
Yeah, because like that person has to be super secure already before they enter into a situation like that, which is why I discussed what I was saying to Adam earlier today in the conversation about, there was problems before it got to that point. You feel me? Like there's a 99% chance it would not have gotten to that point if those problems didn't already exist. You understand what I'm saying? So, like he was saying, it takes a certain person. You can't be comparing yourself to other people and all of that, which is what I kind of think happened in that situation when Adam was describing it earlier. Like, you're doing this for her, but not for me. That's a comparison. That's a comparison. It takes a certain level of security that person needs to have before you even enact something like that. Like, it really does.
That's a good game.
Guy and the girl. You got to understand. You know, you got to have an understanding. Now, it ain't no come together and we become one type of stuff. That's why I say I had to go through a lot of stuff to get to this point. I had to come out of religion. I had to get into health. I had to get into family business and a whole lot of stuff to get to that point. You know, because before then it was just a inkling in my mind. I was confused. Like, why is everybody trying to be in a monogamous relationship? And 85% of the time it don't work. And everybody's saying that the guys are cheating, and they, you know what I'm saying, even the most honest, straight up guys got to do. I'm talking to guys that have been married 15 years. They girls don't know what I know. I know this nigga been doing all type of stuff. You know what I'm saying? Because, and I just, it's cool. It works for them. It don't work for me. I can't not be myself. I can't lie to a woman every day. It's not the situation.
So one more question for Nate. And I don't mean to like pry in your business or nothing like that, but it's just interesting to me. So do you not feel like a monogamous relationship ever like is something that you're interested in? You only strictly want to be in a polygamous relationship?
Like I said, people change. So if I get in a situation where a monogamous relationship works for me, it'll work for me. But I don't want to make or have anybody try to make a lifetime promise to me. I'm not holding nobody up to that. I've even had my girl even told me, like, trying to fulfill all of your needs is too much of a burden for me. Sexually, time, all that. She got her own life. She got other stuff. So, and so no, I'm not ruling out anything, but I understand myself. I'm not gonna sit here and say, baby, I love you, and you're gonna be the only one for me for the next 60 years. I might change my mind in 30 years and we have issues. Or I might, you know what I'm saying? Or I might, she might not make it to that level sexually that she can think she can hold on or whatever, or they'll even want to 2 years down the road. You know what I'm saying? It's just the matter of this lifetime promise that I'm trying to make for somebody. or make them make
Question:
me.
How do you guys feel about the calculation of children in the mix in polygynous relationships, or anything like that? How do you guys feel with that children
I
in the
think
mix?
kids that are I think I think kids that are born into it, that's all they know, so it's normal to them. There's no
Okay.
like confusion or whatever. But
Well, what if you have kids
I
ahead of
would
time?
never introduce. You said what?
What if you have kids ahead of time and then you come,
I
I
wouldn't.
mean, this is, yeah.
I and that's another reason why I didn't work too, because I said I am not going to have this conversation with my kids. Kids are not stupid. They'll start asking questions and figuring stuff out. I wasn't going to lie to them, and I didn't want to have that conversation of, oh yeah, mommy, nah, that's not for me. So I don't really think that's that. I'm not going to judge somebody, but I wouldn't do it.
Nate, do you have kids?
Yeah, I got a 12-year-old. I think it helps. And I tell her right up front. I don't, the problem is that we were raised a certain way and we stuck on that. And so that's what I'm breaking from my kids, not to be stuck and hung up on a certain way. You know what I'm saying? So I don't have no problem. And it's like I said, there's situations where it's been helpful. There's been women that want kids and don't have it. There's been women who don't want no more kids, don't want to actually have the baby, but would like more kids. There's a lot of situations out there. So, and we all need help babysitting, and you dumping kids off at your mamas and your grandmamas, and it's a whole lot of stuff that it can be helpful with. But it's different on different people. I don't have no problem. My kid's 12. Her mama likes girls. She didn't already had a stepmama with that's, you know what I'm saying? So we're not. It's a new age. Ain't no sense in hiding. And I'm just being honest and upfront with my kids. If it's an adult conversation, then I don't engage in adult conversation. But if it's just the dynamics of relationship and what is she doing here and what's going on, ain't no Mr. Miss Marie, my side chick that my girls over my kids over here riding in the car with, that ain't her mama and she don't know what the hell's going on. That type of situation, I can avoid that through this situation. But go ahead.
So when it comes to the mother of your kids, does the mother of your kids or the mother of your kid have a major say in which woman you bring into the polygynous relationship, or is it just your preference that basically comes into?
But if I'm in a not the mother of my kid necessarily, because I'm not in a relationship with her and she's out of town and et cetera, but if I'm in a relationship with somebody first, yes, definitely has a say.
So the reason why I ask that is because, the mother of your kid would, and I know from experience, would have, concern over who's influencing their child. So this is where you kind of get into the concept of, okay, I don't know who this woman is, and this woman is now coming in, spending time around, my daughter. Like I have a 9-year-old daughter myself, and this was something that was, obviously, it wasn't like, oh, I feel like my sister's going to influence her niece in one type of way. It was just like, is she going to look at her more as mom than me or anything like that? Some people, there's that aspect that comes into it as well. But when it comes to people who are not related, but I'm saying when this happens in, a relationship where, you're actively bringing in another woman in here. Obviously, you're saying that the mother of your child has absolutely no bearing on that, decision whatsoever, right?
No, that's not what he said. That's not what he said.
I agree. That's not what I said. What I'm saying is,
he said, obviously, if you're in a relationship with somebody and you have a child with them, they're going to have a say in who you bring around their child. That just makes sense. We do that with daycare centers. We do that. Of course. We do that with doctors' offices.
It's like this. What if your ex says, I don't like your new girlfriend or your new wife, keep her away from my kid?
Then that's going to happen.
That's a regular thing. It's not going to happen, right? So
no, I said it's going to happen. It's going to happen because, if she has an issue with
monogamy, he mentioned monogamy though. He was talking.
Yeah,
my point is the same situation happens in monogamy. Actually, happens more in monogamy. That situation where your ex or your baby mama don't like your new girl or your new woman and don't want her around the kids. That's a typical story. That happens way more in monogamy than in polygyny. Right? Because for one, and maybe I'm unique on this, my baby mama don't have no say over here. I'm 3,000 miles away. She's already picked me and already trusts me for the situation. She can say something. She has input, but it's my decision. I'm not dropping my new girl because my ex from 6 years ago or my 12-year-old baby mama don't like her. Why would
So
I
you have
drop her?
custody?
Huh? We have split custody. That don't
You
have
said
nothing
she
to do
lives
with it.
3,000 miles away.
Yeah, but she can live next door, and that don't have nothing to do with it. I just threw that out there because she can live next door, and I don't have no say so what's in her house, and she don't have no say so what's in my house. We can talk about it.
Input, but not control.
Exactly. We can input and talk about it and express our issues, which we have. You know, she's been with somebody that was too promiscuous or sold too much drugs or whatever. And I just said something before, you know what I'm saying? And vice versa.
Okay.
But I don't have no control over that. And I'm not dropping nobody from what she say. I don't know what she's up to. I ain't, you know what I'm saying? Whether it's split custody or she's next door, none of that even matters.
Literally.
And maybe I'm different, but my ex ain't gonna tell me to dump my new shit.
Different. No, you're not.
That don't
different.
make no sense to me.
I think that's normal.
Nobody in their right mind would literally leave who they're with because their ex is telling them they don't like them. Nobody's doing that.
Yeah, that's
Nobody's
normal.
doing that. Obviously, you're gonna consider if you just started the
Why
relationship.
would you do that? They don't know enough about your situation. They don't know the new person.
Yeah,
they don't know the relationship.
If anything,
all they
people
can do is express their 2 cents. You
Their
know,
opinion would be heavily weighed.
yeah. Well, she don't know enough to have a heavily opinion on my new girl.
I mean,
just don't know the new person enough.
weighed.
She just don't know the new person enough. She's not in this situation. Most if she has an opinion, it's because she's still like you and there's some type of jealousy still. Right. You know, my exes don't even have an opinion. She understands like that's your place and your house. I don't know this woman. I don't know y'all's household. She was smart enough not even to have an opinion. You know what I'm saying? She would have to find some deep. Oh, I found the America's Most Wanted, and your new girl's on there, and she didn't sold all types
it
of
would
drugs
take a really extreme situation.
Sending me receipts. It'd have to be something like that.
Absolutely. She'd had to have ran a background check and found out that Shorty cut babies up to have a
damn.
Make any sense.
Not cut them off.
She can have an opinion. And if it's legit, you know, maybe she what's the complaint? She's too stupid, she's too ghetto, or whatever. And I'll be like, I'll handle that. Thank you.
But that's your problem. Even if that's the case, that's your problem.
Exactly. Thank you for your input. Like, I'm glad you're checking it out.
We gonna cut babies up together, goddamn.
Call the police. Don't tell me.
Yeah.
Straight up.
Yeah, it's just I feel my 2 cents. Everything that could go wrong in a monogamy. And listen to me, I'm not championing for either side.
Right,
I just understand that humanity is way vast. Like everybody likes different things. Every single person, no 2 people like the same shit. And even if you do like something, there's something that's different about you. You understand what I'm saying? So how can we expect these things to work the same or one to be better than the other? Like, I don't know.
I think most times in a monogamous relationship too, when you run into the situation of the baby mama not liking the other girl, the most the dude is going to do, or he should do, I guess, is try to find some kind of balance between it. And he's not even obligated necessarily to do it.
Trey, I just got divorced, son, last year. You understand what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And my ex, the first thing she said to me was, "Oh, and she ugly too." First off, my shorty bad. I'm not even trying. I'm not gassing it. I'm really my shorty bad. I'm going up to the camera right now. I will show you my shorty bad.
Right.
But when she said it, she
had
a
bitch and ain't even met her or seen her yet.
You see what I'm saying? You know what I'm saying?
See, that's not the way I operate.
That's you though, Adam. That's you.
I mean, hey.
Yeah,
as soon as I had a new girlfriend, I wanted to make sure that you know, my ex-wife knew who she was, knew who was going to be spending time around our daughter. I made sure that they built their relationship. Now we're all friends. Friends.
That comes.
We hang out. We're all cool.
That comes with the territory, Adam. Obviously, you have a child with this person, so that person needs to become comfortable with your significant other.
And
that person.
And if for whatever reason they were not, if for whatever reason they were not comfortable, I would have to find out why. You know, I would have to find out that it was not related to some just jealous aspect. What is your major concern? That would be fielded, definitely. There's no way I'm disregarding the mother of my child's opinion
what you're saying
on who I'm with.
What you're saying right now is completely rational. I understand what you're saying.
And I
That's
said I
all
take
that.
her input.
Yeah, he
Right.
literally said he consider her input and listen to what she has to say. It goes without saying that you're going to investigate the situation. You're not going to just disregard the concerns. Like that's not what's being said here. What you're not going to do though is throw the baby out with the bathwater and not give shorty time to get warm up to your significant other when she doesn't even know your significant other. She might literally just have an issue with her. Is what he's saying.
And there's a lack of trust there. I think. Like I think my ex trusts me enough to not to be making that big a deal about it. Not she don't know about them. She know about any of the future females that I'm with.
Your ex, listen to the kind of women that you deal with. You mentioned this throughout the entire podcast. They don't compare themselves to other people, so they're comfortable regardless of the circumstances. From what Adam stated earlier on, his ex had an issue with shorty being treated differently than she was. You understand what I'm saying? We're talking about two different types of people, two different types of women.
Well, like I said, this was at the particular time she was going through from remission. She's fine now. She's married. It's all good. Like, you know, and I have longtime girlfriends, getting ready to get the ring, you know, but as soon as I got with this girl, I made sure, you know, my ex was comfortable. I wanted to, because again, we're still friends, like, you know, and we're co-parenting here. The last thing I want is for our daughter to feel like the parents can't communicate or there's some breakdown there. So I made sure that we found some sort of common ground. And when I came together with this girl, I wanted to make sure that, you know, my ex like knew who she was. You know, initially, of course, there's a little bit of tension, but she never said, "Oh, I don't like this girl." She's like, you know, I don't know her yet. Get to know her, and boom, this is what it was. And then now I said, we're all friends. We go to church together, we all hang out.
You noticed that it still took that warm up period for shorty to get comfortable.
My ex is like, why are you even telling me this?
Exactly.
Like, you got this, bro.
That's
you know what I'm saying?
point.
You know what I need. You know what the kids need. You got this. Why are you even bringing this information to me?
I'm gonna do it. GSU for Life asked, with these types of relationships, is there regular STD testing going on? I hope so.
Yeah, of course.
Yeah, just as much as
in a monogamous, I would think.
Yeah, just the same.
Yeah,
because you're in a relationship, you're not stepping out of relationship in this. You know, it's not like a lot of cheating. It's not a whole lot of different women. It's actually, and be honest with you, polygynous men have less partners than monogamous men because most monogamous men are cheating.
Yeah,
most of them, they either cheat or they break up, especially over a 10, 15, 20-year period. Polygynous men have less partners than monogamous men, just in general, statistically, over a 10, 15-year period.
I can see how that makes sense.
They don't have to do a whole lot of stepping out and sneak in and all this other stuff that a lot of these guys have to do when the girls don't feel like giving it up or they having issues, you know, with disease or whatever issues they have, they going through something. And guys have to do all this extra other stuff and lie about it and be slick with it. And a polygynous relationship, you already established what you need. You already got it right there. It's a whole lot less threat to STDs.
And speaking from a dude that's like in monogamous relationships, like the thing about it too, there are like monogamous relationships out there. I don't want to paint this picture like every dude in a monogamous relationship is going to cheat or do all this other stuff. There are faithful dudes out there too, to where like whoever you are one-on-one with, that's who you feel like you want to be one-on-one with. You don't want to step outside of their relationship and do that. I'm one of them guys. Like I'm not the type to like cheat. Because it's like I feel like Nate when it comes to the polygamous relationships, why lie? You know what I'm saying? Like if I gotta sneak around and do something, I'm not gonna do it. So either I'm just not gonna be in a monogamous relationship, or I'm just not gonna do that until I'm ready to get into that and be, you know, with one person. So I guess it's like both sides of the coin, basically.
At the end of the day, I did all my dirt in the past, so I'm good. You know, that's kind of how I feel. You know, it's like I'm at the point where, you know, I 100%, like, you know, with my ex-wife, I didn't cheat because we didn't have to. We had the outlet of swingers and, you know, whatever else that happened, you know, along the way. But before that, you know, I was a cheater. I was doing all kinds of shit, doing my dirt. And then, like, you know, I just realized, like, you know, I don't really want that. Now I'm pairing because I want to be in long-term relationship with someone that I'm going to grow with. Like, I don't want anything else. But I also feel like, you know, a lot of people who go directly from, like, you know, not seeing anybody in virginity to then, you know, being in a relationship, a lot of times that shit leads to infidelity a lot quicker because they don't really have the experience of having been able to like sow their oats or whatever the hell it is. Like, you know. So, but at the end of the day, it's like when you've actually been around and you've had your fun and you've done your things, then by the time you're ready to settle down, you don't really have to worry about what's out there. You know.
I agree with that.
So are you comparing? I'm just curious. Are you comparing poly relationships with sexual immaturity?
I'm not comparing poly relationships with anything. I wouldn't say anything about poly.
Okay. You said you don't have to worry about certain things when you get to a certain place, right? Or after you like sowed your oats or whatever you call it.
I was just literally saying that, like, you know, because he was saying that in monogamous relationships, men cheat, you know, at a higher rate or whatever, and people, and I said, yeah, I think that people who, you know, not sexually repressed, but people who, just go from being virgins or whatever to, you know, being in committed relationships and then trying to, you know, then have a marriage out of that and then go straight forward, you know, those people are more likely to cheat because they haven't really had an opportunity to go out and experience, you know, the world. And there's a reason why they tell you to sow.
I see what you're saying.
I'm saying that there's a reason why they tell you to sow your oats. You know, you sow your oats because you get to experience, you know, what's out there. So by the time you're ready to make an informed decision about life, you have experience and you have some sort of like, you know, point of reference to go from. But you know, these people who go from like, you know, not like I've seen so many girls like in high school who were good girls or whatever, you know, and then they end up getting knocked up by some guy and they end up married. And then these girls become the biggest cheaters in the world, like, you know, because they've never had any sort of like, you know, fun before. The guys, same thing, you know, they never had any sort of fun. So then they, you know, they start stepping out. Me, I didn't like, you know, I was a piece of shit in high school and like college and stuff like that. And then by the time I actually got married, I said, well, you know, maybe I'm gonna still be that guy, but you know, my wife, she had a more open mind. And you know, when we were introduced to this life, I was like, oh shit, okay. There's a way to be open and be able to like, you know, engage with like swinging and shit like that. I was like, oh, this is kind of interesting. This is fun. Then we moved on to something else, didn't work. But like I said, now in my relationship, I have that experience. I know what's there and I'm comfortable where I'm at. Like, you know, if we get to swinging and shit like that, we've talked about that. You know, if we get to that, then great. But, you know, at the end of the day, I'm cool.
I agree. I like sow your oats. Go ahead, because I want women that's past their whole phase. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like, and know what they like and know what they don't like by now. You know what I'm saying? A lot of women, you get raised to get married and find a husband. They get married at 20, and it don't work out because, you know, hey, I don't know what I like and don't like at 20 yet. Especially women. You know what I'm saying? To where they've been in a box. You know, by 20, you probably had less sexual partners than the guy you with.
I can't sit up here and be in a relationship with a woman that says I've been with one guy in my life. I'd be like, what? No, this is some bullshit.
Yeah,
I can't.
Nate said, look, you need to go find somebody who'll give you that recoup period before you get
that.
Exactly.
I've had that. You need to go sleep with some guys and be with somebody else. Then come holler at me.
Then come holler at your boy.
No, seriously. I had a girl who wanted to be in a relationship or whatever, and she, you know, this is fresh out of law school, something. She sits up here and she tells me, oh yeah, I'm looking for a husband and all sort of stuff. And I was like, oh, okay, what, you know? She's like, yeah, you know, I'm in college and, you know, I haven't really been with many guys. I've been with like one or two guys. And I was like, you went in a relationship with one or two guys? How many guys you slept with? She's like, well, it's only been one or two guys. I was like, yeah, I don't know about this. She goes, what? She's like, what, you would rather a girl that's been around? I said, look, either you're going to judge me for my experience and feel like, oh, what the hell? Or, you know, you're just going to be looking at something down the line. I said, I'd rather you know what you want. And I was just like, no, I'm not for that. Yeah, my girlfriend I have now, she's been around, she's had her fun. We talked about it, and I was like, great, wonderful. I'm excited. Like then I don't got to worry about teaching anybody in the bedroom. I don't got to, like, you know, we basically do whatever we do. Like, there's no issues.
So and you think, I don't even know if this is part of the subject. So you think that every girl has a hoe phase, and if she's young, you just don't. I don't even know how I want to phrase that question.
I was confused as fuck for a hot second. I just kind of like nodded my head, to be honest with you, because I was lost at the idea of a person having to go through a phase sexually.
I'm about to say because everybody doesn't.
That's what I'm saying. Not everybody has that sexual immaturity phase where they have to go out and like secure themselves before they become solidified. They're gonna be like, and not everybody needs to do that.
Right. Then you might miss out on somebody, even if it's for your poly relationship, because you prematurely judge them that they haven't done their whole phase, but they might not have a whole phase.
Well, I didn't say I was going. I said I would prefer that they went through it.
Yeah,
we would have to even have a conversation and talk and chat and date just for me to find that out. So I'm not Xing you out if you haven't. And I kind of assume that most. I'm not gonna say all. I don't say all or nothing, but most women do have a whole phase because they have to find what they like and don't like. And I would prefer you. I don't want to be. You would be with me. And then I don't really know. You think the grass is greener because you ain't never been over the other side. You know what I'm saying? Now I gotta sit here but being your man, you go see the grass is greener. You coming back? Ain't nothing out here for me. Yeah. Well, tell me that before we meet. You know what I'm saying? I like you to go do some club stuff, and before we meet, I don't mind that.
You're basically saying just to experience pretty much life in the dating scene is what you're saying. Not necessarily like a whole phase, just more like actually getting out there, enjoying your life in your 20s or whatever. Just even if you're 30s, just just kind of experience out there first before you call yourself trying to settle down.
Had more dicks than just him.
Right. Women's not going to say. Women don't call it whole phase. They call it finding themselves or whatever they want to do. I call it whole phase, but we can
having experiences. That's what they call
it.
Seasoned women is what you're talking about.
I don't want to be with a woman that's afraid to doesn't know what she likes sexually. I don't want to be with a woman that I got to freaking teach and do all this other extra shit. I've been with girls before, dead fish, and I was like, okay, this ain't going nowhere. I already know that. And every guy kind of laughs when I sit up here and say dead fish because they know it's like, there's some girls that sit up and they could be the baddest looking women you've ever seen in your life. And the baddest looking women you've ever seen in your life. And you said they just lay there and they expect you to do all the work. And then and it's like, can't throw it back, can't do nothing. And funny thing is, you try not to be an asshole because I'm not trying to make her feel bad. I'm not trying to make her feel bad.
That when you got to teach her, you got.
I was about to say, I'm the kind of dude.
If I'm a monogamous guy around, if I'm a monogamous type of guy around late 20s, I might not mind teaching her. We can learn together. So, but at 40 plus, and I got work to do. You know what I'm saying? We can't be sitting around trying to. Some things we need to know by this
watching
time.
Instructional videos.
I'm gonna send you a porn link and learn something.
Exactly.
I'm gonna send you a study guide.
Here's the thing, right? Here's the thing. My 2 cents, or maybe I stand alone here on the panel. I don't care if I got to teach Shorty or not because I'm enjoying the ride regardless of the circumstance. You understand what I'm saying? Like, I'm enjoying this person, whether she lays there or not. Listen, I don't need you to move, man. You can play. I play Legos with your ass for the rest of the night. I'm being serious.
Sometimes she might not have had somebody
exactly
bring it out of her.
Exactly.
And vice versa. So
by 40 though, Brandy.
You never know.
I agree with BK. I agree with BK because I'm telling you now, seriously, you'll be surprised. A lot of guys talk, and this is going into a whole other conversation. A lot of guys talk, but when you talk to women on the slide tip to the side of something, they'll tell you straight up, like, oh, I ain't never experienced that. And then you go do it, and it's the first time they ever experienced that. We talking about 35 and up. You understand what I'm saying?
I'm cool with that.
It's a lot of talk going on, but it's not. It's a lot of people that are inexperienced, much like what I think Brandy is saying.
I don't need you a vet in the game. That's not what I'm saying.
Sex is also mental. So I don't know because I can go off on a whole nother tangent. So
I guess it's a difference though too between like not doing something and like really just not knowing what you're doing. It's a difference between not doing it. Like I've never done that before. And then we get in that situation, we get in that blend, and you just don't do nothing.
Or I don't care and have no ambition to.
Yeah,
now facts you gotta live with one of them the rest of your life.
But the links that you send in, they not watching them, they're not getting any kind of value from it.
Yeah,
They're not even
obviously
feeding
that's
into
going to
any
show
of
in
that.
other ways. That's not
Right.
going to just show in the bedroom.
No.
That's going to show in other ways way before you even get in the bedroom.
True enough.
You know what I mean?
Nah,
So
real
to me,
deal.
that's just bad sex. That's just I wouldn't even compare that to this. My 2 cents.
But I
if
feel like
it's a
this
woman
too.
that's inexperienced, oh my god,
I'm in my late.
Shifu.
Yeah,
Please call me Shifu. I'm about to teach your ass a couple things.
I'm in my late 20s, so I
Nah.
feel like this. At this
I don't
point, if she's not as experienced, I'm gonna teach her.
Yeah,
but
of
by
course.
the time I
You
by the
gonna
time I
teach.
get 40, if she's not there, then it's
I'm
like
still
okay.
teaching. I'm still teaching.
You still teaching?
I'm not
Late
teaching.
twen-
Put on my
okay,
suit
but
and tie.
I'm
40?
absolutely not teaching.
Professor J, I'm
No.
gonna teach you a thing or two.
I'm
It ain't
absolutely
about-
not
it ain't
teaching.
really all
I don't
about
have to
teaching.
teach. Like, you know, I'm absolutely not about teaching. Like, you know, like I'm not trying to be graphic here, but if you don't know how to suck dick, I'm not gonna sit up here and try to guide your head up and down. You know,
Here's the
was
thing,
it,
Adam, right?
was
Here's
it,
the thing, Adam.
yeah,
Adam,
no.
You're missing
You
out,
want to sit
Adam.
up here and give like two, go ahead.
I got a real
You're missing out, Adam. I'm gonna tell you.
Hold on. No, hold on.
Now,
I'm gonna show you how you dropping the ball here. Do you think the way you like it is the same way as what Trey might like?
oh, the last guy she was with.
Exactly. So you got to teach regardless, man.
Exactly. I don't mind.
Like-
teaching.
Well,
I don't
okay,
mind
teaching her how
Yeah.
you operate, what turns you on, and your buttons. That's different than teaching her or him. In the case of the flip side of it, the overall
There's some
practice of
basics.
fucking or the practice of oral sex or whatever. But what turns you on, I think,
Yeah,
that's
that's
the difference. You're gonna learn the mate. You're gonna learn your mate in whatever
That
way.
I don't mind to sit up here and guide you to what, but I mean, if you don't got the basics down, I'm not gonna sit up here
I gotta
and
write
waste
this
my time.
down. What's the basics? I gotta write this down. I'm gonna host a podcast on this shit myself. What's the basics?
And let
man?
me get on there, Jay. 'cause
I'm
I
gonna
wanna
say
talk.
invite me to
Put
that
the-
one
Put
because I
the
want
basics in the
to
chat because I want to talk about this shit. I want to know what the basics are. What do
The
what do
basics.
people need to know before they fuck? Like before you get to another person's bedroom at a certain age, how should you be sucking dick? How should you be eating pussy? Explain to me.
I don't particularly know how you should be sucking dick, but I know how I like it, you know, at the end of the day. And I mean, I know.
Everybody should know
So
the
you
basics.
gonna have to
right?
teach her how you like it though, right?
Exactly.
I mean, wait,
You have to teach her, right?
no.
Yeah.
The end of the day, if you don't know, like, if you can't sustain sucking dick for longer than like 2 minutes or some shit, then we got a problem. Like, you know, if you sit up here, I got lockjaw, I ain't got time for that shit. Bye. No, I don't have to.
is this fictional? I've never met a 40-year-old that know how to suck dick.
GSU.
Oh, I've met. Well, no, excuse me, not 40 years old. I'm not 40 years old.
I'm just saying.
I'm in my 30s.
What GSU say?
I'm talking about 20 years old.
Hold up. GSU said number one, no teeth.
Thank you.
Here we go. You got a problem. No, here we go.
Thank you. That is a basic.
Actually, hold on.
But
I've
come
met
on now.
someone.
Who does not?
I was about to say.
No.
That's a given.
I need to know who
Oh,
does
no.
not know to not use teeth.
Here's the
I've
thing,
met
though.
someone.
I'm gonna raise my hand right now.
Wait.
I like
Shit.
teeth.
Go ahead.
I like teeth.
Get the fuck out of here.
No. There's another guy
by
in this
yourself
world
with
that
that
likes
one, Jay.
teeth too.
You by yourself, brother. Not by.
It
There's
ain't just
another
me.
guy
Yo, they
in
make
this
whole
world.
songs. Trick Daddy made a song called "That Chewing," literally.
No, we good.
Hey,
Google
bro.
it. I'm taking it apart.
No. That's like saying eating her out. You ain't really eating.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly.
It's just a term.
Exactly.
Now, I don't do teeth either, and I don't mind showing you how not to do teeth. That's not a big issue. You know what I'm saying? To me, that's not a big problem. That's no deal breaker. You know, it's not really about teaching. You know what I'm saying? It's just being confident that the grass is not greener on the other side. Going back to what I was saying before.
Exactly.
To me, I don't mind teaching. You know what I'm saying? Because, like I said, it's gonna be different every person. I'm a new guy every couple of years. I don't even need you to learn how to cook no more because I will teach you how to cook.
Exactly.
Things change over time.
Ooh, that's deep.
That's cool.
Exactly.
But don't be thinking the grass is greener, not knowing.
Right.
Not knowing if you might like light-skinned dudes or I ain't never had a Mexican. I don't know. You know, I like to go do something. I need you to
be
know,
certain about what it is
get
they
an
know.
idea of what you like from your
Yeah.
experience in your life, so I don't have to deal with that.
I got you.
Right. That makes sense.
Yeah.
I get where you're coming from on that, but like I said, they're basics.
I still want
in
the
the
basics,
bedroom.
bro. Yeah, I still want. Please put the basics in the chat. Come and talk about that. I'm begging you.
right.
I'll cash app you $5 for the basics.
Well, you ain't got to cash at me now, but
I don't have no problem finding chicks that have basics.
I want to
Most
know what
chicks
they
I've
are.
ever
I'm
met
gonna
have
talk
basics.
about this.
That's
I'm
hard
gonna
to
talk
find for
about
me.
this.
29.
basics of dick riding, basics of knowing how to suck a dick, like in a general
I need
sense.
the basics. Put them in the chat.
I mean, you know,
Right.
fucking yeah, dude. Like,
I'm telling you.
Jay
I'm
Fax gonna
telling
show up to the first date, put a list out. Let me see if you
Yeah.
got the basics real quick.
So I'm telling you,
basics of knowing how to put that arch in your fucking back and not give me that fucking cat back. Bitch, if you give me that cat back, I'm gonna hit you in the back and straighten you out.
That I'm thinking, right? Here's the thoughts that I'm thinking. Seriously,
You know,
there are women who only had 2 dudes and guys who only had 1 woman. You feel me? And we talk about since high school days when they actually lost their virginity. This is the point that I'm making, right?
Okay.
Everybody at some point in time, whether they want to admit it or not, kept doing sex one way, especially guys. This is a guy issue. Kept doing sex one way because they thought they was killing this girl shit. You understand what I'm saying? And a lot of women will tell dudes, I'm telling you, this going to a whole nother conversation.
It is.
A lot of women will tell a dude like, oh yeah, you killed the daddy, yo, and then go back to their friends and like, nah, that shit was trash, fam. You understand what I'm saying? And there's a lot of dudes walking around with their chest puffed out, but then they meet a nigga like Jay who actually want to teach, who actually don't mind teaching. You understand what I'm saying?
Why do women set themselves up like that? That's horrible. Why would you lie about something like that?
Son, you'll be surprised. It happens a lot.
I know it happens.
Because if you really
when I hire people,
somebody, you're gonna make them feel good about themselves.
Yo, Brandy, I want you on my podcast, Brandy.
No.
Okay. Was it at the end of the day when I hire somebody, I don't need to fucking train you. Your CV better be on point.
I'm telling you that ain't how it work, bro. I'm telling you,
that's the way it works for me.
I hear you.
You don't like it, then go get somebody else. I'm not trying to be an asshole, but I mean, I have the ability to be.
I remember saying that in my 20s, so I think it's like that at a younger age. But once you hit 30 and all the chicks have the basics, we don't even have this conversation.
I promise you, Nate. I promise you. I'm telling you what I've actually experienced and talk. I coach, okay. I talk to people.
You coach what? Or you mean like
Little League.
You coach women in your relationship.
I talk to people about their personal life and also.
Oh, that's what I'm trying to ask. Yeah. Okay. So you're seriously.
They'll talk to me and confide in me about certain stuff. You understand what I'm saying? I'm telling you, there are women and men there's women who be like, nah, my man she's 35, 36 saying these things. And these guys like, oh yeah, I be killing it. He don't know. And she's sparing his feelings, and women do this shit a lot. It's very common. I'm telling you, well into old age, there's men who don't know what they're doing, and there's women who just won't say nothing.
And if that's how their relationship is cool, then that's their monogamous relationship. Let that roll.
Well, that's the thing. But I mean, I don't gotta hire you.
Yeah, she's cool with lying the rest of her life. That's my issue.
Yeah, I mean, at the end of the day, if you got somebody that, let's look at it from a job perspective. You got somebody you're interviewing. They tell you they know how to do some shit. They get in there. They don't know how to do some shit. I'm not going to waste the fucking time training you. I really don't. I really don't have time for that. Like, I don't have time training you.
How old are you,
if you don't know how to, 33.
Oh,
I'm like, right. You missing out, bro.
Adam said he gonna give them unemployment papers quick.
Bye.
He hard on them.
I honestly do not have time. Like, one, just like you're saying, I'm very busy. I work, I own my own business. I got 1,000,001 things going on. I just do not have time to sit up here and try and get it in the bedroom, where I need it to be. Like, no, you come, like my girlfriend, she came to me ready to go. She was already experienced, had her fun, whatever. We do great. I didn't have to say shit. We figured it out right away, but I've been with girls in the past that, you're sitting up here and you're going, what the fuck is this? Like, really? And you're doing your best to bite your tongue so you don't sit up here and offend them. I don't want that. At this point, I don't want that. I have no interest in that.
I feel you. I get it.
I have no interest in that.
You from Jersey, Adam?
Most women that I meet,
New York,
learning so much new stuff.
It's not like you're from the tri-state area.
You got to,
I'm from New York City.
And
I live in Manhattan.
All type of stuff they might not have tried. You're gonna have to teach what you like.
Of course. Yeah, Adam. I know Adam type. He from Midtown.
Yeah. How'd you know it's from Midtown?
I can hear it. I'm from Brooklyn. I can hear it.
Midtown. Okay. That's a good guess.
But yeah, I feel like personally, you always a teacher in some aspects, man. Like, even if they just go with the flow and don't say anything, they're learning what it is you need to show them to do.
Still different from the last guy. He might not know about tantric sex or whatever you want to introduce.
They following your lead, yeah.
I think it goes down. It comes down to teaching the person that you with what you like and what you don't like. That, I think, is just as a relationship is new. That's what you do. Not. I mean, there are some basics I think you should know. Like, I shouldn't
I'm still waiting for those, by the way.
I don't think I should entertain a guy who's never ate pussy before in his life.
Thank you. Like, I'm not sitting up here trying to act like an asshole about that, but yeah. That's a basic.
I don't know. He eat that cat that first time. He might go crazy on it,
No. What was it? First off, let's sit up here and be real. People don't pick up a fucking brush and become Picasso like right away. You know what I mean? Like, sure. You are not going to pick up the brush, be Rembrandt, Picasso, and all this shit the moment you pick up that brush.
Sure.
Now, I don't fucking have time to sit up here and wait for you to get your skills up to that. I mean, you might have talent, you might have fucking potential. That's great. Somebody else will take the potential. I need something that's already realized. That's all I'm saying.
Jane, how many people your age you have ever met as a man that ain't never ate pussy?
For me?
No, I'm asking Jay Marie. She the one that said
one I may have met some years ago, but I think he was lying.
Exactly. So it's almost a mute conversation. If we talking about the basics that never ate pussy before, and
more than likely he lying. He did it before and didn't like it.
Then that's a disqualifying factor right there, right away. The whole point is whether or not you're doing it. Like if I had a girl before, she was also a lawyer. She said and she told me, she said, I find sucking dick demeaning. And I told her, I said, well, then you got to get over that.
Yeah.
And she goes, and no, she goes, oh, well, I have a problem. I said to her, look, a famous comedian said, we could bring a fucking ladder to the bed, out of the bedroom. I don't give a fuck. You don't got to go on your knees. We'll figure this out. I said, but don't sit up here and tell me you're not going to suck dick.
Well, she's like, you gotta go on your knees. You can lay on your side if you want to.
Sit in the chair.
I mean, no. But seriously, she told me this. She said, "Oh, it's very offensive. Like I would talk dirty there in the bedroom. Oh, I don't like that. I said, look, you have to shut the fuck up and let me do what I'm doing. Otherwise, I said, this is who I am. I'm not looking to be. I said, I'm not looking for another alpha in the relationship. And then when I broke up with her, I told her, I said, look, you want too much to be the man. That's not going to work for me. And she was all crying. So I really liked you. I'm sorry, And then she called me back years later saying, oh, if I realized that I was doing wrong. I said, I'm already in a relationship. I wish you the best.
To get us back on topic, but to answer GSU for life, no, the nigga was not Jamaican. He was Jalian. That's what he was doing, Jalian. But the topic, to get back on topic with polyamorous relationships, to get back on topic with polyamorous relationships. So it boils down to communication is what everybody kind of is putting out there. Absolutely. Communication and agreement. And in how
maturity is going to go. Yeah.
Maturity at the same time.
Okay, so maturity, communication. What else do we want to say? Polyamorous. It kind of takes to be a polyamor.
Trust. Trust. When we say, you can't really be in these groups or whatever if you don't know the terms or the words. You know what I'm saying? So you might fall into something that you're not. I'm big on my unique relationship, so I don't fall into a lot of these groups, and I have to put a new name or redefine things. But it's good to be educated on the definitions. You know what I'm saying? And there's a level of trust, not just trust sexually if somebody cheating, but the trust that people will make the right decisions when you're not around. Like my baby mama would trust who I'm with now, or my girl would trust, who I bring to her, or trust me not to bring a disease or whatever it may be. You know what I'm saying? Whatever the situation. You should have hit mute.
Whoa, I'm sorry. What was that?
Fuck you!
I know y'all heard that, man.
Yeah, that was your boy Adam, I think.
Goodness.
What I missed.
I don't know what.
It was like a cat growl or something. I don't know what it was.
Maybe that was his girl.
Man, that threw me off. But you make some very good points.
I was right.
You make some very good points for what it sounds like, Nate. But I think that goes without saying too, though. Like anything that you jump into, you need to have a good understanding of it before you actually jump into it. I was trying to get us back. I'll try turn the car around. Anything you jump into, you need to have a good understanding of it. So I like somebody like me. I never just leap. I never just leap before I look. You know what I'm saying? If I was to get into a polyamorous relationship, I would make sure that it's, you know, I would make sure I have all of the terms understood so that I'm not falling into something that, you know, I'm not trying to fall into, that I'm not classifying something that is not, you know what I'm saying? So you would definitely want to make sure that you do your research before you jump into something like that, because I think in theory, for somebody like, you know, around my age, in theory, it sounds good, but people don't actually think about what comes with it. You know what I'm saying? So
yeah. You got to think thoroughly. You got to talk about it. You got to think.
It sounds good to have two women, or it sounds good in a woman's case to have two men. But when you really break it down and you really think about, okay, you have two women, you have double the pleasure, but you also have double the problems at the same time too. When you really break that down, it kind of, you know, it starts to like tip the scales one way or the other.
Right.
Yeah, absolutely.
Sex, but it's not all about sex. It's about relationships, being around people. You got cycles matching up. You got the jealousy, and you know what I'm saying. You got all type of crap.
Right. When I say pleasure, I mean just pleasure, period, in all facets of the word, not just physical pleasure, I guess.
Yeah, I agree, and it's nothing you have to promise to be in. Like I'm not in one now. You know what I'm saying? It's not nothing you have to promise to be in. It's your own personal preference. It's a sexual preference, is what I call it. You know what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. They got their own differences. It's like LBGQP at the end. You know what I'm saying? We have to have that same respect, and even though you're different from the majority, it's
wait, that's related to LGBT. What the fuck? Really? It's related to.
It is because it's looked at. It's frowned upon. It's frowned upon by the majority of the people without, you know what I'm saying, without getting the adequate respect. You know what I'm saying? So just like I feel it's illegal to have multiple wives, technically, you know, in multiple states. Right. But it's legal for two. It's legal for two men to marry, but it's illegal to have multiple wives. And to me, I don't understand how it's one or the other. One is demanding more respect in society than the other, but it's just different people.
I mean, I just don't like it being linked to that.
Yeah, well, it is what it is.
Okay. All right. So we're going to go ahead and wrap up the show. Anybody want to promote their shows or businesses? You're welcome to do so at this point. I can just start calling people's names and you can kind of talk about what you do real quick so we can get y'all some publicity, some spotlighting. Okay, so we'll go with Brandy or BK Pleasure Palace. Go ahead. What's yours?
Well, as you know, Bedroom Candy, I do sell sex toys. I don't sell just sex toys. I sell body care along with it. I do sell like lubricant. I do sell some things regarding sex education. I do have a makeup side as well that is candy coated. That's still part of the Bedroom Candy franchise, but it's two different parts. I'll put the link in the comments if anyone's interested. I'm up. Hit me up anytime if you have any questions, and also co-host of the Dirty Pleasure Show. So that's me. Next person.
Okay, Nate. We're gonna. Yeah, there we go.
Nate, your turn.
Yeah. So I got my shirt on. Instant Small Biz, ISB University. So I work with entrepreneurs and starting their businesses. So, and we got courses and stuff like that. I'm gonna work with Jay and see if she can do some interviews and I can put inside some courses just to help people, you know, get their businesses started and stuff like that. So that's what I do. ISBUniversity.com, InstantSmallBiz.com, among other things, but that's what I'm promoting right now.
Okay, thank you for that, and thank you for auto volunteering me for whatever you were talking about. We'll talk about that later. Go ahead, Trey. Go ahead, Trey G.
So I work with K104. Y'all tune in every Saturday, every Sunday. I would definitely be giving a little update or you know, a recap of our conversation that we had tonight on the show. I gotta let Dallas know. So shout out to everybody. Y'all listen to me, tune in. I also do the traffic with DD in the morning. So y'all tune in and tap in with me. All right.
Thank you, and
For
thank you
sure.
for that as well.
Hey, this was very entertaining. This was very entertaining and knowledgeable. I learned a lot. I
did too.
Yeah.
I gotta go get all these polys and understand and research them now because I didn't know they all existed like that. J Fax, go ahead with you yourself, sir.
Yo, what up, y'all? I am Jamel J. Fax Lashley, host of the Facts Only podcast and also manufacturer of the first and only infused rum cocktail 605. I coach, I talk shit, and I do my best not to let my confidence leak out into places where people are going to be uncomfortable.
Okay, thank you for that. Adam, go ahead and promote yourself, sir. If you need
I own a financial investment and securities firm in New York. That doesn't really help. It has nothing to do with the show. So no, don't worry about it. Forget it. I don't even know why you panned to me on that one.
Just because. Anyway, okay. So I'm J. Marie Poetry, a spoken word recording artist, owner of Dirty Words Apparel. You can find me at Dirty Words Apparel on Instagram, Facebook, Dirty Words _AP on Twitter. And I'm the host of the what is this called? The Dirty Pleasure Show. You can find us on here YouTube in the comments. We'll put all the little links.
A lot of dirty shit.
We'll put all of that in the links. We're on Facebook. I'm trying to remember all the things.
Facebook, YouTube, Twitter,
fan base.
fan
The
base.
links will be in the comments because
we're trying to get Instagram. Don't know yet, but
they blocked me.
Don't look for us there yet. Yeah, no.
Yeah, don't look for us there.
Anchor. Are we gonna be on Anchor too?
Oh yeah, Anchor too. Anchor, the audio. So yeah, the audio. Which we got to clean this shit up because there's some stuff we got to clean up. But for the most part, the audio was good. We appreciate everybody for showing up and coming out and talking about this topic and schooling us on a lot of it too. We're gonna be live again on Friday of next week, 7 p.m. Same time, and we're gonna be talking about something related about relationships or dating or something like that. I haven't come up with the title of it yet, but it's definitely a hot button item. So be sure to tune in. The Dirty Pleasure Show on YouTube, 7 p.m.
And we will have the audio together.
It was nice to meet all y'all too. It was really nice to meet y'all. Nice to converse with y'all.
Thank you.
Please stay in touch through social.
Of course. Take it easy, y'all.
All right, and we're gonna stop.